Maskiningeware 42 MG42, an abbreviation for Maskiningeware 42, meaning 1942 model machine gun, was developed by Nazi Germany and entered service in 1942. This machine gun was designed based on the 7.92mm cartridge and was originally intended to replace the MG34 general-purpose machine gun, but ultimately both machine guns were used together until the end of World War II. The MG42 is characterized by an extremely high rate of fire, reaching up to 1,500 rounds per minute. When fired, unlike other machine guns, it produces a terrifying noise akin to tearing cloth. The Allies were shocked when they first heard the sound of the MG42, even commenting, "No one would want to stand in front of the muzzle of this machine gun," and referred to the MG42 as Hitler's chainsaw. Additionally, the MG42 features reliability, durability, simplification, ease of operation, and low cost. Thanks to excellent design, the original version of the MG42 could still be seen as late as the end of the 20th century in Southeast Europe, and the development of its derivatives did not stop due to the defeat of Nazi Germany. For example, the MG1, derived from the MG42-59, the MG2, and the MG3. Aside from the changes of era and model, the presence and influence of the MG42 continue to transcend time. For instance, the SIG 710-3 produced in Switzerland, the MG42-59, and the 5.56mm Spanish Setme, Centro de Estudios Técnicos de Materiales Especiales, machine gun are nearly all copies of the MG42 machine gun. The U.S. military's M60 general-purpose machine gun also bears the shadow of the MG42. Although the Amelie and MG3 machine guns can be regarded as products of the Cold War, their superior design continues to serve many countries into the 21st century. In addition to the armies of various countries and militia in politically unstable regions still using the MG42 and its derivatives, its design has also been adopted by Eastern European countries. Hungary developed a tank machine gun based on the MG42 design, but the MG42 itself, with its interchangeable barrels, still outperforms machine guns produced in Eastern Europe. Strictly speaking, the MG42's firing rate can theoretically be increased to 4 times that of other machine guns by changing the weight of the bolt. Even before World War II, the Spanish Civil War provided the German military with many satisfactory weapon testing results, with the MG34 general-purpose machine gun being one of them. However, the MG34 was too sensitive to environmental conditions and was also very expensive in terms of both labor and materials. Therefore, an improved version, the MG34S, was later developed. Additionally, the Johannes Grossfuss Metal Painting Factory Limited, founded by Paul Kurt Johannes in Saxony, also initiated plans to improve the mass production methods of the MG34 in order to reduce the pressures of mass production. This improvement project is led by Dr. Werner Gruner. Dr. Gruner himself specializes in stamping manufacturing technology and does not have formal training in weapon development. However, with his extensive knowledge of steel and the assistance of other technicians, he has achieved 2 unexpected milestones: a new machine gun design and low cost. This new design is temporarily named MG39. The appearance is unchanged from the MG34. In operation, soldiers can quickly adapt and use it without modification. The differences from the MG34 are: feeding method, changed from a magazine to a more flexible belt sight, changed from a vertical type to a sliding rail type, rate of fire increased to 1,200 rounds per minute, production method changed to stamping, greatly reducing manufacturing costs. After conducting practical tests, it was completed in 1941, and its results were recognized by the German military. After further fine-tuning, mass production began in 1942, officially named MG42. The manufacturing contractors included Grossfuss, Mauser, Gustloff Werke, and other small factories. By the end of World War II, over 400,000 MG42s had been produced over more than 3 years. 1942, 17,915 units, 1943, 116,725 units, 1944, 211,806 units, 1945, 61,877 units. The production time for one MG42 was only about half that of the MG34, approximately 75 man-hours. Producing one MG34 required about 150 man-hours. Additionally, the use of stamped production methods saved material costs for the MG42. In comparison, the production cost of the MG34 was 327 marks, while the cost of the MG42 was only 250 marks. When used as a light machine gun, the MG42 with its bipod has a total weight of 11.6 kilograms, making it 500 g lighter than the MG34. The bipods for the MG34 and MG42 are interchangeable, but the difference is that the bipod for the MG42 can be mounted not only on the lower edge of the barrel rib behind the muzzle but also underneath the midsection of the receiver. This convenience allows the shooter to fire at a downward angle without having to raise their body, reducing the risk under enemy fire. When used as a heavy machine gun, the MG42 has its own tripod, which is the new Type 42 auxiliary tripod, Lafette 42 tripod, weighing 20.5 kilograms. The MG42 does not employ a heavy barrel design, and the barrel heats up rapidly during sustained fire. However, the company that designed it has a good procedure for changing barrels, allowing an experienced shooter to replace the barrel in just 3 seconds. The ideal manpower grouping to maintain the MG42 in normal operation is 6 people per team, 1 machine gun sergeant, 2 riflemen, 1 shooter and 1 assistant, and 3 others responsible for carrying and managing ammunition, carrying spare barrels, carrying the tripod, constructing the machine gun position, and miscellaneous tasks. To protect the sergeant, the shooter and assistant each carry a pistol, while the remaining 3 soldiers are equipped with Mauser Kar 98K rifles. However, after compromising with reality, the actual composition of an MG42 team is only 3 people, a shooter, an ammo carrier, and an observer. The shooter is typically held by a corporal, Unteroffizier, in the German army. The Allies have their own definitions and views on the sound of tearing fabric made by this cloth, thus giving the MG42 various nicknames, such as Hitler's chainsaw. Some soldiers describe the MG42 as Hitler's zipper, because its continuous gunfire resembles the sound of a zipper being pulled, while Soviet soldiers referred to the MG42 as linoleum ripper. German soldiers called it Hitlersage, Hitler's saw, or Bonesaw. British soldiers referred to it by the name of the material's place of origin, Spandau. In addition, the German army explicitly prohibited firing off a standard 250-round ammunition belt at once in their manuals, and when using a 50-round belt, they were not allowed to exceed 7 belts fired within a minute, to prevent drastically shortening the barrel's lifespan and reduce the occurrence of overheating and jamming. Due to the MG42 being so unique and terrifying, the U.S. Army had to film training videos to help soldiers overcome the significant psychological trauma. The reason design companies aim to increase firing rates is to enhance the probability of hitting and killing enemies in a short amount of time, in order to suppress the enemy's tactical movements. This design philosophy also includes the Vickers K light machine gun. However, high rate of fire weapons also lead to exaggerated ammunition consumption, decreased barrel life, and risk of overheating, which tests their ability for sustained fire. A single MG42 can pin down an entire group of enemy soldiers, leaving them in a dilemma. British and American troops were trained to handle the MG42 by taking cover and launching a surprise attack to seize the MG42 position when the gunner was changing barrels. A skilled shooter can change a barrel in 3 seconds, while an unskilled one may take 7 seconds, making it necessary for MG42 gunners to carry a pistol for self-defense. In terms of organization, the German army had independent machine gun squads, or they were the core of a unit. The machine gun squad would provide mutual cover with other units, with the MG42 tasked to suppress and restrain the enemy, cover friends or allies during offensives, defend positions, and boost everyone's morale.